All right. Is it buffering? Are we good? I'm gonna have to. I think I'm gonna have to call freaking my internet provider today. All right, so we're having an issue here when we run this, where we get this error that created at. That's an ElectroDB error. Oh, we must need to authenticate. All right. Nope, that's not what we want. We're already logged in. If we run here, we get this error that says that our expense notification on the encoding side failed, created as missing, and that's because, let's see, let me get out of this stupid AWS screen. If we go look at main, let's see here. We drop into sync, go to the implementation. I think it's this. Right here. Yeah, we need like a expense notification. So this schema is wrong here. We really don't need declare const x is a expense notification. So it's saying the encoded version. I need a what is the function to do this? There's like a const with schema dot type schema. Yeah, that's what I think we want. So now if we look at, if we do the same thing again, declare const x is a expense notification, we should see, I want to look at the encoded x dot, yeah, there we go. That fixed everything. We'll put that there. What's up, y'all? I'm gonna be really annoyed if I have to deal with my internet. So we don't even need Do I use this anywhere? No. So we don't really need that. All right, so I think that should work. Oh, Jesus. Oh, that makes sense. Right, because this is now, this is just decode array. Yeah. And we should hopefully see this work. Yeah, there we go. Nice. Nice, chat. We did it. We did it. Okay. That's good. Except that it's using it's using the wrong account. It's using my wrong token, I think. If we go look here, let me delete my JQ filter. Source. Shouldn't notifications have a filter by group? Because I should be getting my test group, which, let's get open a Arc window here. We go to Splitwise. We have my test group with Anders, budget sync testing, and we should see these two. Beers at the Prancing Pony and the gas bill. And Anders owes me $88. So maybe I can't filter by group. That would be really frustrating. That would put a wrench in things, I think. That is slightly problematic. So how do we deal with that? I mean, it might be okay. So I guess for every notification, we have to grab it. And we fetch a notification if it's an expense, and then we have to filter it if it's for the group we care about, which is annoying. Why did we end up using notifications before? I remember it was a good idea, but I can't remember why I thought it was a good idea. Oh, because we got the added, updated, and deleted for free. That's the information it gave us, because I don't think we get that over here. Yeah, we were using that as a mechanism to sync. All right, so let's say I come over here and we can say notifications updated after. And if we do that, when was this put in? February 11th? Say the February 4th. Uh, 2025 to 4. Yeah. Dot to ISO string. Let's grab that. And if we go in Yak and we go ahead and do updated after, throw that in there. Can we set a limit of like 100? I wonder if this actually gave us 100. It might have. Does it give us any pagination data? No, it doesn't. Okay. Oh, this is an annoying problem. Yeah, this is an annoying problem. I wish this API had webhooks. No, Winnie. Okay, so you know what? There has to be. Let's see if we can. Winnie, no barks, honey. Here, you want out? Let's go. I doubt this is gonna work, but we'll try. Yeah, it doesn't work. Thought we might get lucky, but. So we need to be able to pick up when a notification updates. We need to be able to pick up when a notification gets deleted. We either need to have logic that's smart enough to fetch backwards through notifications till we find the last transaction that was processed, which maybe isn't the worst problem. It's an annoying problem. Because, like, what happens if let's look at the network data here. Actually, it'd be easier to just do this over here. Where are our get expenses? Get expense information. Gas bill. All right, what's this have on it? So we've deleted. We don't have an updated at timestamp. Well, let's make sure we don't have an updated at timestamp. Let me go in here and just like add a note, LOL. All right, so we do that. Do we get a timestamp on here? Okay, we do. And what happens if we delete this? It's deleted. It should now be marked as deleted. Deleted at, okay. And updated at probably should have been, yeah. All right, so I think this is how my old script worked, is that I would look at I would keep track of the last time this sync ran, and then I would grab all the updated, I would grab all transactions that had been updated after, and then I would basically reconcile them and be like, does this transaction exist? If it does, what updated? Or was it deleted? And if it was not an update or delete, I marked it as a net new transaction. But I ended up getting into race conditions. Like, let me go read this code. I wrote this code a long time ago when I was a way worse dev, but it's been running for years, up until a couple months ago. Where is it at? YNAB. So get the most recent sync date. We have logic if it's the initial sync. We cache. So that must mean if I make a transaction, it gets updated at timestamps. God, this is such an annoying API. The notification strategy is nice though. I'm not gonna lie. So it seems like I actually can't page back either. If we get notifications, right, and we have like this, right now we get 100 and we can't page back further, right? Well, let's say, yeah, they say set it to 0. How do we get 140? That must go back to the exact moment. Yeah, it does. It's error prone, but maybe it's all right. Like if you don't sync for a long time and have tons of transactions, maybe we just like recommend a fresh start. That seems reasonable. Like a reasonable approach, we just like refresh. This could still work. I think this can still work. So what happens is, let's check the code because I'm pretty sure that's how this is gonna work. So we get our notifications. Yeah. Get most recent. Yeah. So then we basically have to go through these notifications.map. Like if I just do this and we get x dot it would be an ID. We basically have to go through this and we would have to create service. We'll have to fetch the expenses. Let's see. Yeah, this looks like what I'm talking about doing here. So we get notifications, and for everyone we make try to expense descriptor. We filter. Yeah. So you basically just get all the expenses and then we filter. And do we have a function for getting multiple expenses? Get expenses. That doesn't take any arguments, but it probably should. What's the implementation of this? This has to take arguments, right? This would be params. options. Yeah, query, updated after. So we'll have to pass that down through. All right, so I guess let's pass that down through. In our index, not index, our client, we'll make a type in here, and we'll say, actually we can put this down below. We'll just do it up here. Export type, and we'll say this is going to be get expenses options, and this will be get expenses options, or what was it? Get expenses data, and then it takes query, non-nullable, meditation time chat. Yeah. And we'll say, we'll add some required fields on here, and we'll say that group ID is going to be required. What? Generic type required. No, what is that? Oh, I guess I have to make a intersection type. Okay. And this will be group ID is a number. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. We could actually update this to be like get expenses. This should really be like by group ID. Makes more sense. And then we take group ID as the first parameter. That'll be a number, and then we can take options, which will be an optional, and that'll be our get expenses options. Go here, we'll rename that get expenses by group ID options. And then we will actually, rather than making this types.simplify, we'll delete that, get rid of the intersection, and we'll throw an omit here. And this will be group ID. So now, yeah, that looks good. Group ID is the required parameter that comes in as the first argument, right? And we'll say on query, this is going to be an object that then has group ID as group ID. And then we'll spread our options, which is basically just the rest of the query params. There we go. That's a good API. I like it. So that should cause us some type errors then. Is there a reason for it to be called get? This is code generated from this was code generated Vafi from a open API spec. I didn't write this code. Hey API generated this. Something client is probably how do I open this? I never remember. No, everything's right in here. All my symbols are right. I have to import the generated functions from the client, like get here. Because that comes from the code gen. But yeah, like this type right here, that's code generated. I just wrap it. And we can get rid of this. Yeah, it's weird. I think what it's saying is, like, if I had to guess what the code gen's doing, it's saying that this is a GET request to an API named getUserById. That's what I suspect the semantic meaning of that is. Let me just triple check this. Yeah. Okay, this all looks good. That API is good. We should have type errors. Yep. This needs a group ID now. So this takes a group ID. And this can take options, and we can say this will be a number, and this will be optional get expenses by group ID options. This gets a group ID. This gets options. Type check that. That pushes the error up one more level. Right. We have to update. Oh, oops. Mr. Worldwide. By ID. By group ID. That takes a group ID now. Number. Optional options. Are we so good here? Okay. I'm sus of my internet right now. I'm gonna have to call my internet provider today, and it's gonna be so annoying. All right, that's fixed there. Actually, I'm realizing this might not make sense. Love throat song to Pitbull. Dude, immaculate vibes this morning. Yeah, this is so annoying. All right, what were we doing here? Handle splitwise notification. Oh, we're keeping track of notifications we already processed. That's smart. Maybe I was doing something smart here. All right, so we're... this is actually really smart, what I was doing down here. This is actually what we're going to end up re-implementing anyways. Why can't I import ElectroDB? Budget sync, ElectroDB. Ah, okay. That makes sense. Why would I need Electro and that? Get that. Do this. Add that. How does a ID not exist on a notification? Oh, that's weird. What the hell is happening? Did NeoVim just crash? Definitely did. That was weird. Everyone saw that, right? All right, let's see here. Go back into the file we were just in. So we just need to import our notification type, which is not that. It's this one. All right, and where's the other error? Attempt to call field get previ. Oh, we have a typo in our NeoVim config. What is happening here? Let's go to key maps and new, and this is going to be previ, and that's a typo. Yep. Classic Anders play. I'm not gonna lie though, it's kind of a bop. Song has grown on me. It wouldn't be a Tuesday morning without Dix in Dallas, you know? We just love Dix in Dallas. I bet Dallas loves Dixon himself. All right. So we're going to partition these. Yeah, notifications I think still are the way to do this. Does this take anything else other than just an expense ID? And does this give us an array? Or no, that's comments. It feels like this should give us... Does this return an option? This feels like this should return an option, right? I don't think this should... Decode to type. Really, we should call decode to type JSON, right? Static. I saw somebody do this. I think somebody on the Effect Core team did this recently. Schema.parse JSON, expense. So this should give us a schema for getting JSON. And can we do something like expense schema dot JSON dot, it's just a schema. So we then do we say would it be like from JSON? From JSON would be static, or it would be schema dot decode, and it'd be expense schema dot JSON, right? And that would give us a, yeah. And then we have a static to JSON is schema.encode expense dot JSON. Right? That's how we do this. And then we can go back to our code. Get expense by ID. So do we want this to return an option, or do we want this to return an error if it's not found, right? Because like this should be like from JSON. What is this? It's already, we don't want to go from JSON. That's right, the client deserializes it. So it takes an unknown. Okay, that's fine. We could actually do something like this where we wrap do I already have option in here? I don't. So I have this idea where in our fetch we do option dot we could skip this then step, and we could do option dot from nullable here, and we can do that. And rather than and then, because here we're gonna get a wrapped option, right? This should be an option. Yeah, we would do option dot map. Hold on, let's make this into a maybe expense. And we'll make this into a function because I have to figure out how to lift a, I don't know if lifting is right term or the right term, but we need to basically apply an effectful operation. We need to map the internal value of an option with an effectful, well, I suppose maybe we don't. Because we could actually do when you trip and you fall. No, we still end up with the same thing. I need to figure out how to run an effect inside an option, and if it's an error, convert that option to none. Mattia, are you still around? Anyone from the effect team here? All right, Anders, how do I do this? I have this option and I want to apply an effectful operation to the value inside the operation. So if option is sum, then apply effect to option value. And then we have like if effect is if effect succeeds, option is sum of success value, else option is none, and then this would be else option is none. That's what we want right there. So it's like if option dot is sum, maybe expense, we can drop into here, and then we can run. I think I see what I gotta do here. We just might have to pipe again. We'll return decode to type, maybe expense dot value. Otherwise, we return and this becomes, what is this? This is an effect, right? Is there an effect to option? Option encapsulates the result of an effect in an option. This function wraps the outcome of an effect in an option. If the original effect succeeds, that's exactly what we want. It's exactly what we want. So really, we can do something like, we'll do return option dot map, maybe expense, and then we'll pass in, I just deleted the function we need to run, this thing, yoink. I'll just do option dot map, maybe expense, that function, delete inside there, xxx, and then we can pipe that to effect.option. Or wait. We want a flat map. And this will be piped. We say dot pipe. We come in here and we get the expense. And then we pass the expense in here. And then we say dot pipe, and then we say effect dot option. Effect dot end then. No. What is this upset about? Oh, because we need to run it. Right. So this is what we want to do down here. We were going down the right route. And we just come here and we delete to E and we just say return dot pipe, and this will be effect dot option, and otherwise we return maybe expense. So now, where were we? Just. If we look at what this comes out to be, hopefully this is a, Jesus Christ. Why? I don't know what's going on there. We get a effective that's still not right. x equals, it's an effect of an option, and then what we just do, effect.succeed on this. And now this should be, yeah. We did a chat, that's what we wanted. Oh wait. It collapses that. Return an effect. There we go. So really it's like option.map.
Functions describe the world.
Like the actual way to do this, whatever, that's fine. Thank you for the follow, Nicolo. Appreciate you. All right. Let's go ahead in here and save ourselves some headaches and do yield star. Actually, we can do this down here. And we'll do attributes, and we'll add expense ID as expense.id. That'll help for debugging. What did we miss? One of those. Okay. Get expense by ID, that looks good. Get expense by group ID. Let's add some get expenses by group ID attributes, and we'll add group.id is going to equal group ID, and then we'll do a one of those, and we can spread we'll do we have flatten? I wonder if I brought in flatten. Yeah, I did, great. So come here and we'll add we'll spread. We'll flatten options, and then we'll spread it, which will have the effect of making keys like options dot offset similar to this, and they'll be separated by a space. So that'll give us nice tracing. Where's our error in here? What is this subset about? Oh yeah, we changed the return type of get expenses. So this is now an option rather than a expense. Option dot option. Really? Toggle wrap. What is this saying? Type return is incompatible. I fucking hate TypeScript errors. What is the actually error here? Okay, fine. Ask AI. No. How do I get into the main chat? Continue in chat. Command J. What is the actual error? Actual error here. Ah. Okay, so I know what the error here is that we have to flatten this. Or where were we just working on that function? The heck? Where was the code where we were returning an option? Did I just delete that code? Wasn't it in here? Or no, it's collapsed in here. Get expense by ID. I'm dumb. We need to do one more pipe after this. We just go effect.flatten. And that should fix that. Maybe. No? X to X. What is this type? We have an effect that returns. That's correct. No, we don't want to flatten that. Oh, we need to yield this. That's why. Yield star. There we go. I do use Raycast Pro. Let me check chat here. DM Mulroy, question please. I've never used Vercel for deployment before, and I will use it for a client now, but I know if the basic plan for a website that get around 200 to 300 visitors a day. It's an e-commerce website. I wonder if Vercel is a viable option here. The client doesn't want to pay more than 20. Yeah, that should be totally doable. Gilgamesh, that you can probably honestly run that on our free tier. That's insanely low traffic. At worst, you would probably just pay the $20 a month for the pro subscription, and you get that would 100% get you there. Yeah. Feel free to DM me on like Twitter or something if you run into issues or have questions. I can help you, or I can at least work with you to give you guidance and connect you with the right people if we need to. And Yellowfish, I think I answered you, but yes, I do use Raycast Pro.
Functions describe the world.
Mercy, mercy, mercy me. There we go. All right, everything's type checked there. That should push the type checks up the stack. Yeah. So this is now a option. Yeah. Mercy, mercy me. We can do another tagged error here. And we should actually, on here, we should do, I'm going to change this to a schema.tagged error. Sorry about the dogs barking, chat. I'm going to go take care of them. Baxter. Hey. What are we doing? None of that. Relax. Relax. Calm yourselves. You're not guard dogs. Dang it. Got this freaking wire. I got a freaking heating pad on my back right now. Freaking cord got tangled up in my chair wheels. All right. So we're gonna come here. This is going to be notification already processed, and then this is gonna get a schema, and we'll say notification ID. ID will be a schema.number. What is the takes? Yeah, and then we'll take also splitwise user ID, and that will be a schema.number. And then down here, we can throw that in to notification ID will be maybe notification.value.id, and we'll do splitwise user ID. And then we'll make another one of these. And this will be expense not found. Where and this will take this would be weird if this happened, but do something like that. And then this also will have a notification ID. Yeah. And then down here, so we say, we'll just do the same thing here. We'll say, rather than is some, this is going to be is none. So if we get none back from our get expense by ID, this becomes a, let's see here, what we call that, expense not found for notification. We have a notification ID, and then the expense ID would be, oh, it doesn't have an expense ID. Right. Get expense by ID. No, it would. It'd be notification.id. Is that right? Hold on, now I'm confused. Oh, I should have named this better. This is like, a better name would be persisted notification. Yeah, that makes more sense. So we come in here, and this would be, notification dot. I don't think this is how we get that. That's not right. That can't be right, right? What the F is Vercel Neon? It's just our integration with Neon database. Source.id. That's what we want right there. How do I make something not null with schema? There's got to be a... Kojo, you can do Q. If you type in Quayu, you can see what's queued up. How do I... I want to make something not nullish. I guess it would be, would be type schema? Null or... because that's how it comes across the API from Splitwise. Is there not a function to take a null schema and make it not null? There's got to be a combinator for that, right? schema.filter. Filters. All right. So what? It would be like filter takes a I should just read the docs. Sweep pipe schema filter. So we should get a function here, right? Where the heck is my exclamation point? I can't find my exclamation point. This is so stupid. There it is. Is that not the same? Do I have to pipe it? No. Why does it still have or null? Doesn't feel like filter work. Greater than 10. So I have to do a refinement then? The other thing I could do here, there's a better way to do this, is rather than wrapping this here, we could just, whoops. What the fuck? We do this, right? And then everywhere this is referenced, is like we do schema dot. This is the better way to do this. Which is only one spot, so that's the better way to do it. What up, Colin? Okay, that seems right. And if we go back to here, now this should be good, right? And we should be able to get notification.source. Now it's not null. And now we come in here, get that. Do that, and this is source.id. Notification ID is notification.id and splitwise user. There we go. Which we should really never, this should never happen. So now we have the expense. And from the current user share, that seems like the right logic. This is still an option now. This should be maybe expense. And then we can say const expense equals yield star. In fact, we can just do maybe expense.value and not yield anything. And this will be expense. And that should give us that. What we don't want to really yield here is I think we want to pipe an option.lift. No, I want to convert an option to an effect, which I guess I can just do effect.map error, right? Like if I do map error here, I should just get a no such element exception. Yeah. Good morning, everybody.
Oh, Bodhi has something for you.
Oh, thank you, Bodhi. Can I drop?
I don't know. Oh. I don't know what it is.
Relax.
You want to go get breakfast? Let's go. Let's go get breakfast.
All right, chat. This is now an unboxing stream. We have a package from Imprint Engine. Came from 4001 Lake Breeze Ave, Brooklyn Center, MN. Was that Minnesota? Oh, I know what this is. This is my Vercel community shirt for going on the Vercel community podcast.
Oh, nice.
Or stream. I got some stickers. Look at that, chat.
Wait, can I steal them?
You want that Vercel sticker?
Oh no, my laptop's black.
It's got white outlines. And then I have this nice exclusive Vercel t-shirt. Vercel community t-shirt. It's very nice. Feels nice.
I'm gonna steal that too.
Very nice.
Yeah, let's go.
Justine, could you shut my door, please? Thanks, boo. All right, so we do get the no such element exception found here. So we can just map this to, we'll make another error here that can occur. And we can be, this error is going to be like, let's yoink this. And in this, we're going to replace, that's not what we wanted. S, paste that, and we're going to make this, the error is like current user share not found. Yeah, and we don't really need to, I mean, I guess we can keep carrying the notification ID with us. doesn't hurt. Really, it's like for expense. Yeah, we can get rid of that. I like having verbose errors. What up, Typecraft? How we doing, buddy? Give you a shout out here. Have you checked out open code yet from the SST boys? Oh, we got ads running. Oh, we do have ads running. Might be. How do I move this thing? All right, there we go. All right, ads are over. Dude, you need to check this out on stream. If you haven't seen it yet. It's pretty slick. It's an open source of Claude codes that like Dax and Atom and Kuji, I don't know how to say his name. Kujitim. It's really good. I will end up, I'm not doing stuff right now that's very great for vibe coding at the moment. I will soon once I have the foundations laid down, but I started using it a bit at work yesterday. It's really good. So when we map this error, we're going to return a new current user share and this is going to take, what does this take? This takes a expense ID, which will be expense.id and then splitwise user ID. Yeah, dude, it's really nice. It's basically open Claude just for any model. All right, so we get the current user share. Current users share? Yeah, I think that needs to be plural. Whoops. Current users. Yeah. All right. So now we're like building up this effect, right? And this effect can return a handful of errors here. It can return oh, I need to yield those. Yield star. Same with this one, yield star, and down here, that gets yielded. Yeah, so right now we can see we're building up this thing that currently it returns undefined. It can return a ElectroDB client error, a splitwise client error, a parse error, notification already processed, expense not found for notification, current user share is not found for expense. Love the type tracking here. So we're gonna probably break these down into smaller effects and decompose this, but let's just keep going here. Because right now in the actual flow, we get the notifications. And then for every notification, yeah, we can just break it off into here. I think that's fine. We spin up a fiber for every notification. Yeah, that seems fine. So we'll fork this. All right, so on expense added, before you were saying, we wrote this out. My ears are so clogged up right now, chat. So we're going to persist it to Dynamo. Create splitwise transaction database. Create YNAB transaction plus insert to database. Create budget sync transaction. We can probably fork all of those. So we'll have persisted splitwise Oh, we do. Looks like we might have designed our schema pretty smart here. That we have a clustered index. Where is this thing? We have a budget sync account, we have a splitwise expense, a notification, a sync transaction, and a transaction. And then, all right, let's look at these. Attributes. And our indexes is just hard root. That makes sense. What is foo? Oh, we can get rid of that shit. What is it? W collapses it? Yeah. It's clustered on budget sync account.
Wendy, you want your puppy?
And how do
Are you
we...
gonna hang out with Dylan or are you gonna come hang out with me? I'm gonna go.
We're clustered on there as well.
Max, are you coming?
So we can get notifications by group ID.
Max, you're coming. Alright, well, you two can stay in here then. Are you gonna stay? Okay. Wait, oh. Okay. What, you gotta pick one. You can pick one. Get your puppy and come with me. Alright, you're gonna stay here then.
And the YNAB track. Okay. Get your puppy. Why did I do this? Oh, we were gonna write notifications to the database and then have a separate... Is that how I was gonna do this? So we were gonna have a process that syncs notifications to Dynamo, and then we would have a separate process that is querying for new notifications that are either new or locked in error with some timeout. Or no, we could just try to process them as soon as we see it. We insert it as new. Really, we don't even need new. It should just be locked, completed, and error. Is there any reason to not attempt to process as soon as we see it? Do we even need this status? No, we do want it. I don't think we need new. Because let's look at our flow again, right? We go to sync. As we're processing these, this is a bad name too. This is like get most recent completed. It's wordy, but I'd rather it be wordy than unclear. So when would we insert these, right? So we get notifications after we drop into like this processing function.
Functions describe the world.
If the notification is not already processed, we could set it to new. But like, why would we I don't see a reason to set it ever to new. Like, I think we would just set it immediately to locked, because we're going to try to process it. Yeah, I don't think that needs to be new. It's a good idea, just don't need new. Okay. Thank you for the follow, Con. Appreciate you. So let's go back over here, and we do want to persist this now. Where was I? Yeah, right here. So given this, we want to come in here and we want to say yield star. dv.splitwise dot oh, these have, that's not the base. Ah, we're exposing the API. Clever. That was a good design by me. Sometimes I think of good ideas, chat, and I surprise myself when I come back to them. So we'll say lock notification. And this will take a expense notification. Actually, I can just take a notification, which will be a we'll just take an expense notification, and it's going to return a effect that can succeed with void. And an EffectTS client error, which we can just really rename to EffectTS error, probably. Yeah, let's rename that to just EffectTS error. Do that. And now down here, we just have to implement this. So we come in here and we say const lock notification is going to be, there's going to be some other errors that can happen here. So we'll say notification ID is going to be a number, and we're going to pipe that into effect.gen, function star, go into there, and we'll do a pipe, and we'll do effect span, get our telemetry on there, and this will be, how do we do this? Yeah, that's what I want. All right, and this is lock notification instead. And this is actually going to take probably a full notification rather than a number, right? We said that, expense notification. And we can add some attributes here. Let's see here, we can have notification.id. And that'll be notification.id. We can have it for expense ID. right? Because we know on a expense notification, the source, well, that will be a expense ID. The trace will already give us a timestamp. What else do we have on there? Notification dot, yeah, we could do type. Expense dot type. We'll do notification dot type. Actually, this would be how have you set up Biome for linting? Have you installed it globally? I have the same setup using the LSP. I use conform. And then I use, I just install it to my project, I think. Maybe not. I must have the binary installed globally. Maybe it's installed with Mason. Yeah, I have it installed with Mason. So in here, we're going to say we need our ElectroDB. Do we even need that? I don't think we need that. If got a raid. Welcome, raiders. Thank you for the raise, Drone. How was your stream? We are working on doing some syncing for the apps I use for my budget. What were you guys working on? I don't think we need to provide down here. We don't need that at all. Yeah, I don't know why I did that. Because we have a closure. We're using a closure rather than needing to do dependency injection here. Was just day job, co-working chill? Nice. What up, Fox? What do you do for your day job? Currently acting as a test automation engineer. Nice. So I imagine you're in the world of like Playwright and Puppeteer and all that fun stuff. I actually, one of the most challenging bugs I ever dealt with in my entire career came from Puppeteer, maybe. Maybe Playwright? No, I think it was Puppeteer. Cypress. It came from Cypress. This is one of the trickiest bugs I've ever had to debug in my entire career, chat. It ended up coming down to Cypress was modifying code at runtime. So it would like serve source from a third party, and then Cypress modified a third party script at runtime. It was causing a confusing ass bug. It's a fun one. If anyone's interested. Yeah, that was a crazy bug. Cucumber.js, my arch nemesis. All right, so we have splitwise notification, and we'll do, I never remember the difference between create, put. The difference between like put and upsert confused me, and update for electro. Oh, that went to the right place. All right. Okay, this is confusing. Is this not creating a record? Does this overwrite? Provide all required attributes as defined in the model to create a new record. ElectroDB will enforce any defined validation defaults, casting, and field aliasing. A put operation will trigger the default and set attribute callbacks when writing to DynamoDB. Okay, so what is the difference between put and create? In Dynamo, put operations by default will overwrite a record if the record being updated does not exist. In ElectroDB, the create method will utilize the attribute not exist parameter to ensure records are only created and not overrid when inserting new records into the table. So I think we want create, because I want to error if I try to lock. No, we do want put. What is this where clause doing? Why would you use a why would you use the and rent equals rent W1 condition for creation in Dynamo here? It seems, yeah, it didn't chirp, or Zach rip. I read that wrong, sorry. So I guess that just enforces that rent. like that, because this could be dynamic, I guess. Okay. I get it. So we want to create, and then this gets type will be notification dot type, and then we got notification ID. This will be notification ID. Expense ID notification dot source dot ID, and then we have group ID. The notification does not. We do need that. All right, we'll have to fix this in a second. We'll also have to fix that. Created by user ID. And that'll be locked. All right. So we're going to need some other stuff here. We're going to need some lock notification options. So let's go ahead and make those. So you can just quit here. We can say type lock notification options is going to be a read-only structure that has on it a group ID, which should be a number, and then it needs a budget sync account ID, which I think is a string. And then we have options here. Options, got a lot of options. This will be options.group ID. And this will be options.budget sync account ID. And we need to get the created by user. I'm assuming this is going to be on the notification. Created by, yeah. All right. Dynamo, yeah, once you get Dynamo, I think DynamoDB is my favorite database. I love Postgres. I love data modeling in a relational sense. I mean, I love data modeling in general, but like Dynamo is just so powerful. Like, I had so many wrong ideas about Dynamo for so many years, and like I just assumed it was like Amazon's MongoDB, which is so wrong. Like, if you do good single table design with Dynamo, can be just as relational, and schemas can be enforced basically just as well as SQL. And it's like the scaling and sharding is just so easy to do, and the patterns you can do, like the way you can index your data, like you can get like text search super easy. Like, yeah, you basically can build your own database engine like pretty simply. It's pretty dope. I really like it a lot. All right, so we get the Splitwise notification, and I'm hoping that I don't need to stick that on a sync transaction. Attributes. Yeah, great. We didn't stick that on there. Cool. So we don't need to return that. We can just yield it and then return out. We can actually put more attributes on here to help with debugging, because now we have, we can do budget sync dot account dot ID, and that will be options dot budget sync account ID. And then we can have, that's probably all we need. I don't really care about who created. Might as well throw it on, right? Doesn't hurt. Notification dot created by user ID. And that will be notification dot created by. Sort those. There we go. All right, so now we can lock notifications. Where's sync? What's this upset about? Oh yeah, we have to add lock notification. And then we have to update the interface here. And this gets options, and options will be, oh, we need to go down there and get that type. You now come up here, and we'll throw you after this. We should really split these out into separate files, but it's fine. Lock notification options. I love this band. I wasn't sure if it was his new band or Eternity Forever. I think the new band's called Gold Necklace, maybe? It's the original or the second singer of Dance Gavin Dance. All right, so we've got lock notification working. So let's go back to here. And we want to do db.splitwise.lock notification, and we pass in our notification, and then we give it some options. We need the group ID. Which we don't have here. And we need the budget sync. We need that. So do we have the group ID up here? Okay, we do have a group ID. Mattia, are you still here? Is there a way to insert a value, like can I set the instance or the value for a tag within a scope? So just like within the scope of this effect and all its children, this surely is how HTTP platform has to work with middleware, right? Like, can I do context dot, can I do a set effect dot get context, access the full context of the effect. Effect dot provide with config provider scoped. Sets a configure, no. I want like provide service scoped. For example, you can use this function to provide a random number generator. Is this recursive? Are you looking to provide only a single service to child effects? Yes. Let's say I have a tag like, let's say I have const budget sync account ID, right? And this is going to be like context dot generic tag, and we'll say budget sync account ID, right? And this will just be a number or a string. I want to be able to yield this, right? I want to, when sync gets run, I want to basically be able to actually further up, really even. I want to be able to like const budget sync account. Like you would basically do like, if you had HTTP middleware, you would be like yield current user, right? That's basically what I want to do is I want to yield current budget sync account ID, but I want multiple fibers to be running where budget sync account ID can be different values depending on the fiber. So I'd love to be like, rather than taking this in here, I would love to be like budget sync account is yield star budget sync account ID, right? Something like this. I know this is upset, but budget sync account ID. Isn't that a tag? I don't know why that's upset. But you get the point here. Is provide service recursive though? Like, I guess we can test this quick, right? Like, we can just do foo.ts. Come in here and we'll do export, or we'll just do const my tag is going to equal context dot generic tag my tag. Say this is a number. Const program equals effect.gen const my tag. Do that. Okay, so it is recursive. But now what if I do over here? Okay. Okay. So it is scoped to... That's nice. That's a really nice property. Well, what if I run these... Is that deterministic? That feels deterministic, right? Okay. Okay, that validates what I was looking for. Cool. That is super clutch. Like that's like async local storage on fucking steroids. Man, oh dude, I need to go back and like rewrite my distributed Redis lock because that changes everything. Okay. Well, that is super dope. I'm glad I learned that. I did not know that about effect. So here we can just do we can just come in here and be like, to really do this up a layer, where do we create service? Push sync. So this isn't wrapped. Okay, yeah, we can do it in here. I think that's fine. So we'll change this to, we'll go, where can I put this? Because we can just put it in here. We'll do current budget, or I guess we can do current account, right? .ts. We'll go in here and we'll say export class. So the budget, say current budget sync account, and this will extends context dot tag. The frack happened there? I love this song, but it's so sad. That was weird. Is it that? Is that the syntax? Yeah, okay. And this will have a budget sync account entity. Or something like this. This really needs to return typeset simplify, yeah, entity item. We really want ID should not be... ID should not be nullable. I really think at some point I need to go update the types for ElectroDB. Actually, we don't need to do anything here. We just need the tag. Yeah. So we'll come back over here and we fetch the budget sync account ID or budget sync, and then we can do, can I just set something into the context without providing it to an effect?
The world.
Because like I want to provide it from like, I want like a latch. Basically everything below this gets it put into the context. That feels like it would update for everybody though. Not scoped. Ah. That looks like what I want. Do I still have my... Oh, I shouldn't have deleted that foo example. All right, let's try that again. So we'll do generic tag number my tag const subprogram 2 equals gen and we'll yield star my tag constant. Effect.log. What does this take? Takes a tag, yeah. Then it takes a function. Oh, I have to probably pipe it. What's the difference between update service and provide service? Oh, I guess it just maps over it. It's like a map. Will this override? I didn't even know function with span was an option. All right, so it doesn't look like I'm gonna be able to do what I'm trying to do here. So let's go back with our last couple minutes and right, Mitsuya, there's no way to say like from here down and all child effects. I guess I could fork. From here down in all child effects, use budget sync account ID as budget as tag impl for budget current budget sync account. So I mean, I guess I literally could do yield star effect.fork. I want to do scoped. And then you just do like effect.gen function star like this. And then you'd move all this into here. And then you could provide that, right? Pipe dot effect. Okay. We don't need to do that. But we can just yield that down here. Const current account is going to be yield star. We can close this side. Current budget sync account. All right, so now we have the current account, right? And we can do in the lock, we have current account dot group ID, and the budget sync account ID will just be current account dot ID. In fact, we can just rename this to budget sync account. Oh yeah, I guess you're right. I could just yield the gen in there. But that's okay. So we locked the notification. Map error. Current user share. And what we get, what is this on? Let's do a pipe here, and we'll do effect dot with span. And this is going to be, what did we make this up above? We didn't add. All right, so let's go ahead and do dot pipe effect dot with span. We can say budget sync dot sync, And here we'll add I don't even want to do attributes because we can just add outside of that. So it gets wrapped with it. We'll do effect.annotate spans, so it's the whole way down. And we'll say budget sync account ID. That way, all of our spans recursively down get budget sync ID on it, so we know who it's in scope for the whole way down, which is a nice little property. All right, so this is going to be budget sync, and this is going to be called handle splitwise. We can close this side, splitwise notification, and it will be, we can give it some attributes here. And the attributes will be, let's see here, what do we pass in? Notification. So we can basically get notification, expense ID, and splitwise user ID. So we'll say notification.id is going to be notification.id, and expense.id is going to be notification.source.id, and we'll do notification type, notification.type, notification.type. Nice. All right. This should end up being I forget which value is. So let me write a to do. So to do on Wednesday will be determine current users share. Let's just make this a bulleted list. Do that, and then we'll say persist the expense, persist splitwise expense to DynamoDB, and then create YNAB transaction, persist YNAB transaction to DynamoDB, persist sync transaction to DynamoDB, and then error handling retries, rollbacks, one error. Okay, cool. So that'll be a good starting place tomorrow, chat. We actually got a good bit done today, so I'm pretty stoked with that. And I really like that I learned about the provide service being recursive. That's super nice. All right, let's find somebody to raid. Thanks for your help today, Mattia. Appreciate you. Let's go watch Jack work on the Gleam compiler. Write some Rust. All right, y'all. Have a lovely Tuesday. We'll catch you tomorrow. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out.